Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available summer 2023, the album, Dad. Shimmy, shimmy, AF. The scammetry, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The scammetry is blowing in the wind. Boost! How are you guys doing today? I know you guys are like, okay, he's in the bedroom. Is he gonna cry? Is this a very, no, this is not a very serious video. I don't plan on crying yet. Oh my God, no, I don't know. I might cry. I might get very heated and start crying. I was out on the front porch and the landscapers, the poor landscapers who are doing the yards, it's like 98 degrees outside. I feel so bad for them. They are like working in the yard right now. And so it's like really, really loud. And so I was like, well, I want to get this video done. I just came home from Cousin Fun Day with my cousin Caroline. Hey Caroline, how are you? Which is where we run errands and do fun stuff. And I just got home and I was like, okay, I want to film this video now. And then I want to film a video on my Peterisms channel. And then I just went and bought the new Krispy Kremes that are out, the M&M Krispy Kremes. I want to do a review of that. I bought many things to review today. But I also want to talk about Shane Dawson's Scammetry of the World. And I also want to make a mention about Morgan Adams kind of shading Jeffree Star indirectly a little bit. I don't know, I was kind of surprised about this when I was sent this. So I want to talk about that. Before I do, though, I want to say two things. First of all, I was just notified. I was just rolling through Instagram, and this came up that there was like this huge sale going on. Puri. Do you guys know it? You probably can't even see it on there, can you? But it used to be Poopery, and now it's just Puri. I don't know why they took the poo out of there. Listen, none of us want poo in our lives, okay? But I kind of like the name Poopery more than just Puri. But anyway, so if you don't know what Poopery is basically the spray that you spray in your toilet so that your poo don't stink, okay? Or that the poo that does stink don't stink no more, okay? So some of these YouTubers need to get it for their lives, is all I'm saying. But anyway, I found it years ago because my cousin at Christmas time, she had a bottle of this like Christmas spritzer spray. It had like Santa Claus on the bottle. It was real cute and all this kind of stuff, right? And that's how I found out about it. And I've been using it ever since. They have like little on-the-go bottles, but now they've extended to like room fragrances and other things, which is why I think they took out the poo word, you know, because they don't want to just be associated with the toilet anymore, okay? They don't want to just be associated with sitting on the toilet, okay? If you're from northern Indiana, you call it the toilet, okay? But they don't want to just be associated with sitting on the toilet anymore. So they've taken out the poo, I guess. I don't really know why they took out the poo, but I did prefer when they were called Poopery. So anyway, they are having, and like I said, no, this is not sponsored. I don't have an affiliate code or anything like that. I just love this product so much, okay? Unlike Jaclyn Hill, that can't link anything unless she's making money off of it. They are having a major sale on a lot of their spritzes, and they have like this Spritzmas Vacation and Holly Jolly July, and they have this Frosted Cypress, and they have many of their holiday scents. And then they also have other scents as well, that are not just holiday scents. They have on here the Bathroom Bouquet and the Celestial Seat and things like that. They even have some of these, like they have candles and they have a room spray and things like that. So if you guys want to check it out, go check it out. I mean, some of these are like, most of them are 30 and 40% off, which I was kind of blown away by. And I have to tell you, like, I stand behind these products. Some of the scents I don't necessarily love, but that doesn't mean that you wouldn't. Like, they're mahogany ones and things like that. Like, I don't necessarily love those. But all of the Christmas scents I really, really like. I think. Most of them I do. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Then I wanted to talk about my Cousin Fun Day today. We had so much fun. We went to the post office. Well, first we got coffee at Starbucks. Well, I got coffee. I got a venti iced blonde Americano. And then my cousin Caroline, she got a strawberry acai refresher made with lemonade. And then we went to the post office, and we went to Costco, and then we went here, and then we went there, and then we went here, and then we went there. And we ended up at Trader Joe's, which I bought a bunch of stuff to review. But anyway, I just want to say, not once, but twice at Trader Joe's, which this never happens to me in public, okay? I was standing there, and this gal, she goes, Peter Monn, and I like turn, and I'm like, is this somebody I went to high school with? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, I watch all your videos. And I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. She was so sweet. And then it happened to me again as I was at the register. I was like, oh my God, twice at one place. Like, this never happens to me. But my moment was kind of ruined because my cousin, we were standing there at the register, and she said, do you see the guy behind you? And I was like, yeah. And it was this guy that worked there, and she's like, he's the one that made me cry. And I go, what? And she goes, I'm like riding this high that somebody actually noticed me in public, right? And she wouldn't let me have my moment, though. She had to take it away from me with her sad, sorrowful story. She goes, yeah. She said, he's the one that made me cry in here. And I said, how did he make you cry? And she goes, well, it was when she was cleaning out her mother-in-law's apartment, and she said that was when I was like on this real rosé kick. She was like, I was drinking a lot of rosé because I loved the rosé back then, and she said I came in here and I got like 3 greeting cards and I got a bottle of rosé, and when I went through okay, this is like 2 years ago, right? And needless to say, my cousin's 3 years older than me, so you do the math. So anyway, so I'm not going to add her age on there because you don't do that to young ladies. You don't do that, okay? So anyway, she goes through the aisle. And I know there's those people out there that are going to be so serious. And they're going to be like, well, you're not supposed to sell alcohol unless you have identification. Yes, we know that, okay? But she's having a bad day and she needed her damn rosé. Now, I don't relate because I'm a person of sobriety. But listen, if you need your rosé or your KJ or whatever, you need it, okay? Maybe you're just having one of those days. So she goes through the line. The guy's like, can I have your ID? And she said he was real mean to her anyway before that. And she's like, so she told, of course, my cousin Caroline, she always says she's just like me. So she told the whole story. She's like, yeah, I'm cleaning out my mother-in-law's house and blah, 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 whatever. It's been a really tough day. And I left my ID at her house because I was using it for such and such. And she's like, I'm really, really sorry and whatever. And he goes, so just the greeting cards then. I hope you understand. And she said one tear just started going down her face because she couldn't have her rosé. I said, Caroline. And she goes, then I asked him, I was like, seriously, like, I'm such and such years old. Do you really need my ID? And he goes, like I said, just the greeting cards, right? And she said he was real nasty to me. And I go, well, anyway, I got noticed in public. That's the really important part of this story. All right, so now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let me have a little sip of coffee before I get into all this. All right, let's get into, hold on a second, I need to relax myself, so let me use my Deep Sleep Pillow Spray right here, which I totally swear by, and I did a review on my channel. Woo! Deep Sleep, okay. Now, oh, it smells so good, I'm so relaxed, I'm ready to fall asleep to Shane Dawson's newest video, which apparently the rest of the world is too, because it ain't getting no views, and he's bitter about it, okay? Shane Dawson, now, I came up with several titles for this video. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet, okay? But the titles are going to be Shane Dawson is struggling, Shane Dawson is done, it's over for Shane Dawson, and Shane Dawson keeps on changing his titles. Now, I don't know what is going on with Shane Dawson, okay? But apparently, he don't know what's going on with Shane Dawson either because he's very worried. Now, this is a game that Shane Dawson has played for a while, but on the heels of me making my video the other day where I talked about several things where Shane Dawson hadn't changed, and I talked about a joke on his podcast where he said something about skull effing, like he wanted to come up with this AI thing. And it was interesting because I actually thought when I mentioned that in there, that the majority of the comments would be people would say things like, oh, Peter, like, this is really a reach, it's whatever. The majority of the comments were really people saying, yeah, Shane Dawson's humor is that of like a 12-year-old. A lot of women were like, it was really offensive to me. Like, Shane Dawson does not have an edit button. Like, Shane Dawson has not learned. I was really surprised, honestly, right? Because I really thought people would be like, okay, Peter, this really isn't that big of a deal, yada, yada, yada. And also he made some jokes in his video that he posted, which was where he paid these different bakers. Apparently it's something you can do between $500 and $1,000. Some of them more than that. Some of them like $1,100 to make like a bust of you like from here up, right? And so he had like 3 to 5 cakes made of himself, and then he had one made of Rylan and one made of Morgan, okay? That was his video. Now, what I talked about in my video the other day was that Shane Dawson had come out on his community tab like 2 weeks ago and said, you guys, this is the craziest video that I've ever filmed in my entire career of being on YouTube. Now, since he posted that, which he says about every single video, and this is the thing, right? It's saturation of marketing at this point. Like, when you say that literally about every video that you post, whether the video is a conspiracy theory or video, or whether the video is you know, a Jeffree Star video series, or whether the video is a Jake Paul series, or whether the video is a Haunted Bridge series. If what you are doing is every video you come out and say, you guys, literally, this is the craziest video I've ever posted in my entire life, and people go to it and it's not a crazy video, over a period of time, even your own fans are going to be like, okay, I can't do this anymore, right? Like, this is, it's so clickbaity at this point with your marketing that it's not working, and I'm really not that interested in watching this video, because the reality is it's probably really not that crazy, and you're just hyping it up. And if you've watched Shane for a while, what he does is he even more so hypes up his videos that really don't have any substance to it, because what he's worried about is that nobody's going to watch it, which is obviously what is going on with this video. Now, I watched the video. The video, I think, was something like 50-some minutes long or whatever. And I said in my video, like, I was very objective, and I said, if you're a Shane Dawson fan, you'll probably really enjoy this video. It's he and Rylan trying these cakes. None of the cakes did I feel like really looked like Shane Dawson, but they kind of poke fun at it too. Like, they don't really think they do either. I was kind of surprised because he actually uses his, like, his face, you know, identifier on the phone or whatever, and it, like, the cakes, like, open his phone, which kind of surprised me because they so don't look like him. But then they go over to Rylan's parents' house, and they have the cake for Rylan, the cake for Morgan, and another cake for Shane, and whatever. I mean, so if you're a fan of Shane Dawson's, like, you're gonna enjoy this video, right? And that's the thing to me. It's like, okay, can you not just put out a video and say, like, this was a really fun video to film? Like, got to hang out with, like, Ryland and Morgan and Ryland's parents and, like, grandparents, and, like, this was a really, like, fun video to film, and I'm really glad that we got to do this. It was a great way to celebrate my birthday. That would have probably been a better marketing tactic than for him to constantly say, this is the craziest video that I've ever filmed in my entire career on YouTube. The craziest video? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then tell me why at 24 hours, and, like, no, I don't get these views, okay? But at 24 hours, your video is sitting at 694,000 views. It's one of your worst viewed videos that you have ever had on YouTube in the last year, okay? Your podcast does better than this. So let me just go in here and tell you that he has now changed the title on this video in 24 hours. This is how desperate Shane Dawson is for views. This is how afraid he is to stand behind the content of his video. He literally, within hours of posting the video, was changing the thumbnail, changing the title, changing the thumbnail, changing the title. And it's like, it was almost kind of manic. It was like, I mean, I would go to it, and I had, like, literally, like, just an hour before I'd gone to it, and it was one title, and then, like, an hour later, it was a completely different thumbnail where he's like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me, and it was a completely different title. And I'm like, he is so worried about not getting views. You know, you're so ate up with your cancellation. Why don't you come out and do a video called, I'm going to finally discuss my cancellation at length? That video would probably garner you a lot of views if you wanted to get views on that, okay? If you're worried about getting views on your video, maybe not make a video talking about, I'm just trying to give some help here, okay? So people don't come over here and say Shane Dawson can do exactly what he wants to do on his channel. Yes, I completely agree with that. Just like I say this is Peter Monn's channel, Shane Dawson can do exactly what he wants to do on his channel. I ain't changing thumbnails 15 times. I'm not changing titles 15 times. I maybe done that 3 or 4 times in my entire 6.5, almost 7 years of being on YouTube, okay? He does it a lot. He changes the titles and the thumbnails because what happens is he realizes I'm not getting a lot of views on this video. Well, let's take a look at why he wasn't getting a lot of views on his video, okay? First of all, because the first title that he had on the video was called, hold on a second, I mean, it's changed so many times now, okay. The first title that he had on the video was called, I paid bakers $1,000 each to bake my face, okay? Which is interesting, and I want to see if I screenshot this. I'm not sure if I did or not, but it was interesting because the video was not doing very well. It was getting, like, very poor traction. But what was interesting about that was that when I was going through and I was looking at all this, I noticed, oh, maybe I didn't screenshot it. I noticed that he had done a video with Garrett, like 3 years ago or something, and it got, like, where did I even screenshot it? I bet I didn't. And it got, like, 14 million views. Oh, here it is. $1,000 mystery box, okay? 14 million views 5 years ago. A very similar video, okay? Here, you don't want to believe me? Here it is. Okay, hold on a second. Let me show you. $1,000 mystery box right here, okay, on his Shane channel. $14 million views. So then he puts up this video, and the video is titled, I paid hold on a second, I paid bakers $1,000 each to bake my face. Now, the reality is, and his good Judy Jeffree star, which we're going to talk about in a second, because maybe they're not as good Judies as we all thought they were, per Morgan, because it's something Morgan said. I mean, I don't know if she let us in on a little bit of a secret, or I'm very confused, okay? But anyway, and I like Morgan. I mean, out of all of them, she's probably the one that I would watch, and a lot of my girlfriends that are younger in sobriety watch Morgan's content and like her. Okay, so anyway, but besides that, what's interesting to me is that, what was I even saying now? Now I got some sidetracked because of the scammetry of the world. The scammetry of the world. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Okay, but needless to say, 5 years ago, he was getting, you know, oh, I don't know what I was going to say. Jeffree Star said that the views on YouTube are not the same as they used to be, okay? Which is true. A lot of bigger YouTubers are not getting the same amount of views because of TikTok, because of Instagram Reels, and things like that. Now, there still are a lot of YouTubers out there that are getting very, very good views, okay? And they haven't lost their audience and things like that because they constantly are reinventing themselves. They constantly are growing and evolving as creators on YouTube and doing new things. Shane Dawson doesn't really have the ability to do that. He really doesn't have the ability to take accountability for his past or change and grow as a person. Now, I personally think his audience would be very interested in that if he came out and talked about how in therapy he's looked a lot at his past and his humor, and how his humor of yesteryear was not appropriate, but back then that was kind of, I mean, if he came out and wanted to talk about all of that, I think people would find that very interesting. And I think that that is and he doesn't have to make every video about that, but he's really never kind of come out and addressed that. He just makes constant jokes about how he's been canceled, okay? Which you can tell he's still bitter about it. So if you're still bitter about it, you want to talk about it, it's your channel, come out and talk about it. That would be a video that would garner you a lot of views, okay? Plus, I think it would win back a huge part of your audience, but your audience at this point is just kind of bored with you, all right? Not to mention that, like, I got a comment on my video yesterday and they said, for years, Peter, like, I disagreed with your opinion because I was a huge fan of Shane Dawson's and I really didn't see through the gimmicks and the constant joking and laughings and the whoo and the huge surprises and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, but finally I saw through it. And she was like, and now I don't watch his content anymore because it's cringe. It is cringe, okay? He's been doing this for a long enough period of time that it's like, I think, like, you have to grow with your audience. Which is why I think that even though Ryland doesn't get huge views on his channel, he does okay, because his channel is really about them as a couple, their surrogacy, them getting married, and things like that. If Shane would change his channel to that and then also do some conspiracy videos from time to time, I think people will be very interested in that. By the way, I'm a little confused because if you guys remember, in his Shane series, he said that he reached out to somebody that was willing to do this series with him and that he was going to do this huge series with somebody that we would never believe who it was. Do you remember that? That has not come out yet. Also, and by the way, whenever I say this, I want to make this very clear. This is 10 seconds of a video because people always say, you turn every video that you do into Trisha Paytas. No, I'm just mentioning it because it's pertinent, okay? Where's Trisha Paytas' documentary that she was talking about in March or February? It is now almost August, and that documentary has not come out yet. I'm not talking about the reality show. I'm talking about the documentary that she allegedly hired a team to do. Is that documentary not come out yet on her channel? I'm confused where that documentary is. I'm confused where this series is that Shane Dawson was going to do with some huge personality that he reached out to and they said yes, he could do it with, okay? Was that JoJo Siwa? And you think maybe now's not the right time to do a series with JoJo Siwa, so you put out this cake baking video? Well, I might agree with you. This might not be the time to do a video with JoJo Siwa, just saying. Okay, so he goes in here and his original title is, I paid bakers $1,000 each to bake my face, okay? Very similar to his $1,000 mystery box that he did with with Garrett 5 years ago that got 14 million views, okay? So then he changes it to the self-destruction of Shane Dawson, okay? That was the second title. Then the third title was, This Ruined My Life, okay? Now, I don't know if you can see this. Hold on a second. Before, it was like these funny ha-ha thumbnails. Now it's this very serious picture of Shane Dawson just standing there, okay? And this is called This Ruined My Life. So, the self-destruction of Shane Dawson refers to him destructing the cakes, okay? This ruined my life. What ruins your life, Shane? Buying these cakes that look like you, that don't really look like you. And so you got to put it on here, this really serious picture. And this, you want to talk about the epitome of clickbait? Don't ever come over when I'm sitting there talking about Jaclyn Hill gets shady again. And I talk about her getting shady again. And people go, this is clickbait. No, this was not clickbait. You know, it's like somebody, I did this video the other day on my Peter Does Stuff channel, and I talked about how my husband's plant fell apart while he was gone at his brother's bachelor party, and then I shared this story about how my ex kept on buying me goldfish because he didn't want me to know that all these goldfish kept on dying, and named Johnny, and I thought Johnny had lived for like 6 years or something like that, and then I found out after we broke up that my good Judy Tanya Jean, she started laughing so hard. She's like, Peter, there were about 20 Johnnies, okay? And I was like, Tanya Jean, and I start crying in the video, and so anyway, but I did do like a fake thumbnail, and I went like this because I said I wanted it to look real sad, and I called the video, This Is So Sad. It was sad. I cried in the video. I shared the story that was horrendous to me about this fish that I absolutely love named Johnny, okay? That I get attachments to such things. Like Lamb Chop, who we call Lady, okay? We love her so much. This was Tucker's best Judy. And we love her so much, and so like I put her next to Lil Boo Radley because he can smell his brother still on it. See, we call her Lady because she has such pretty lips. She don't wear Jaclyn Hill cosmetics. She doesn't, okay? She's afraid of shards of metal that might allegedly maybe get in there. She don't want fuzzies. She's got enough fuzzies already. We love you so much, Lady. Okay, but anyway. So needless to say, he goes on and he changes all these titles. Okay, so now we are at, I paid bakers $1,000 each to bake my face, okay? Then he goes in here and there's a self-destruction of Shane Dawson. That's number 2. Then this ruined my life. Now that one, she didn't stay up real long, okay? Then it goes back to the self-destruction of Shane Dawson, okay? With a new thumbnail. This one's like, oh my God, like seriously? Okay, hold on a second. Let me show you this. So y'all can be like, Peter, that's not true. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Different thumbnail, same title, okay? So now that's 4 times. Then he goes in, hold on a second. Then it goes in and it's called, where is this at? I got pictures of all these donuts. Then it goes in and it's called The Nightmare of Shane Dawson. Keeps the same thumbnail, changes the title, okay? And then it goes in and it is called, now he's changed the title. Oh wait, the Nightmare of Shane Dawson was twice, okay? Then he has now called the video, hold on a second, where are we at now with it? It is now called, I Bought Life-Size Cakes of Myself, okay? So we have literally gone through the most traumatic experience of Shane Dawson's life with these titles, okay? Now the video, did he change the title again? I should probably look. I Bought Life-Size Cakes of Myself, 698,000 views. Is Shane Dawson done? I mean, Shane Dawson is really struggling, right? I mean, is he over? Ain't nobody interested in, I mean, I think 698,000 views is good, but not for Shane Dawson back in the day getting 14 million, okay, on a $1,000 mystery box. Yeah, and like I said, people aren't getting the same views they got back then. Okay, right, but let's also take into consideration all that's happened with Shane Dawson. Are people bored of Shane Dawson? Are they done with him? Do people think that he's so problematic? Okay, and then he makes fun of his cancellation because he really only came out with one video and then really never spoke of it again except for to make fun of it. Which I gave very good advice in, and I said that Shane Dawson should come out and address his audience and just sit down and talk and be like, hey, you guys, here's the situation. You know? Had he done that a year ago, 2 years ago, y'all, like, this is what kills me sometimes, is that there are so many people that think that we have, like, such hate for these people. Why would I give advice that could help these people's careers if I really hated them, okay? I would not do that. I want the best for people in life, okay? I want people to grow and change. If Shane Dawson got in a video and called it The Cancellation of Shane Dawson, and he did a 3-part series, and he looked at when he started on YouTube, and then the jokes that he made, and the humor at that time, and he talked about how that shock value humor was what a lot of people were doing at that time on YouTube. Not that it was correct, not that it was right, not that it wasn't racist or inappropriate, but that's what a lot of people were doing, and explained that that's why he did it, you know, and how he's changed and grown, which I haven't seen evidence to that because he's still making jokes on his podcast about wanting to skull F somebody, okay, that he wants these two characters to skull F each other from Animal Crossing? That's your mentality? That 12-year-old humor? Okay, but just forget that for a second. If he came out with a video and explained why he did that humor back in the day, who he is today on YouTube, the growth that's occurred over time, and how meeting Rylan has changed that for him, how coming out as bisexual has changed that, how meeting all these other YouTubers and interacting with them has changed that, how his rise all the way up and his fall all the way down, like, really humbled him. If he came out and did like a 2 to 3 part series, not on somebody else, but turned the camera on himself and did it, I think people would see a different side of Shane Dawson, and I think it would garner him, a lot of views, and I think also a lot of people would be like, wow, this is a really human side of Shane Dawson. Not the prancing around like, ooh, 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 all that kind of stuff that he does, which I think is so offensive, okay? Not that jokety Shane Dawson that's not really who you meet in real person, okay? Because when you meet him in real life, he's a grown adult that can have a grown conversation with you. So give that to your audience. Sit down and have a grown conversation with your audience. And show them the growth that you've done. Talk about what you've learned in therapy. People love a big comeback story. They do. Instead of making jokes about it in videos, whatever. And like I said, why would I give advice to somebody that could help them if I really hated them? I don't hate Shane Dawson. I have no emotional attachment to Shane Dawson whatsoever. I think this kind of stuff is total ridiculousness, okay? That you are so pathetic that you change your title 6 times and the thumbnail 4 times because you are so afraid that you aren't garnering views, that you did a video that you called and marketed your craziest video in your entire career on YouTube, and it didn't get the views you wanted, which is such entitlement because you bought these $1,000 cakes. You bought $1,000 cakes that supposedly looked like you. That was your craziest video you had done in 20 years, okay? And made some vagina jokes in it. And it didn't fall the way that you wanted it to fall. So you continued to change the title. And you wanted to continue to change the thumbnails because you thought that if people really thought you were talking about something serious, that ruined your life. Well, why don't you come out and actually talk about what ruined your life, and then you can use that thumbnail about how hard that was for you and not joke in a video, and then you will get the views and maybe earn some subscribers back too. Just a thought. I'm just saying. But anyway, what do I know? We must all still be on that train, you know what I mean? Anyway, I mean, I don't know. But it was interesting to me because a couple people in the comment sections I noticed, and he hadn't deleted these comments, said, like, I can't believe that you haven't come out and spoke about Colleen Ballinger, which I have to say this, okay? You know, like, I am hard on the people surrounding her that they haven't come out and let us know their stance on it, and I still hold to that. But I will say this, Shane Dawson is probably not the person to come out and talk about. You want to talk about, if he comes out and says something about Colleen Ballinger, I mean, I understand why people want him to, because he was so close with her, but he has to know that if he comes out and speaks about Colleen Ballinger, that people are going to be like, are you kidding? Like, you seriously have not the same, okay? Not the same, not even similar, but related to allegations, and you're going to come out against Colleen Ballinger without taking very little accountability for your own actions, and yet you're still making kind of some of the same jokes. Okay, like, he knows that's cancellation 3.0 for him, right? So he's not going to do that. But anyway, Megan sent me this, which I thought was interesting. I hadn't watched Morgan's latest vlog. I don't watch all of her videos, but Morgan, this is going to stop in just a second. Hold on. Okay, so anyway, Morgan Adams, in her latest vlog, this was sent to me by Megan, so I just want to say thank you, Megan, for sending this to me. I appreciate it. I wouldn't have known it. In Morgan's latest vlog, apparently, she and her mom, now she just sent me a clip of this, so I haven't watched the whole vlog. I don't know anything about it, okay? But she sent me this clip, and she and her mom are in Wyoming, or they're headed to Wyoming, and her mom makes a joke and says, and I have to say, I really do like Rylan's mom. She seems very sweet. She reminds me of a lot of people that I know. And so anyway, and I do like the interactions with Rylan's family and things like that. I think it's very sweet and very homey and things like that. Anyway, so Morgan's mom makes a joke that they're going to a makeup and meat store, or meat and makeup store. Okay, obviously talking about Jeffree Star's store that he just opened, which is makeup, meat, cars, and jerky, and all those kinds of things. Okay, so anyway, Morgan says something to the effect of, I don't think I'm on the guest list, okay? And kind of makes it out to seem that she and Jeffree Star don't get along, okay? Which was interesting because isn't Shane Dawson Jeffree Star's alleged best friend? And your brother and Shane just went out there about 6 or 9 months ago and did a 3-part series with Jeffree Star. And Jeffree was very friendly to Ryland. So why doesn't Morgan get along with Jeffree Star? I'm like confused, okay? Because she kind of plays it down like, well, I don't think I'd be on the guest list. Kind of like they don't get along. What's the bad blood between Morgan Adams and Jeffree Star? Can somebody explain that to me? Because I am not aware of that, okay? Especially when Morgan Adams really isn't problematic at all and kind of just, you know, does her stuff and shows her life and whatever, which I think is why she's so relatable to so many people. But that was interesting to me that she said that. Now, I will say that at times, Morgan has not been afraid to shy away from saying things that are dramatic at times, okay? But I thought that was interesting because she had to have known, and her vlogs are highly edited, okay? She had to have known by leaving that clip in there that that was going to make people think, are Jeffree and Shane not close anymore? Because, I mean, you can go watch the vlog. I watched the clip back that this woman sent to me several times. And she says in there, I don't think I'm going to be on the guest list. And she basically says, like, you know, like, that they don't get along is what she insinuates. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So Jeffree Star doesn't like Morgan Adams. But Jeffree Star is supposedly Shane Dawson's best friend. I mean, Shane's referred to Jeffree as his best friend. Jeffree's referred to Shane as his best friend, like a brother, he said. Okay, this is very confusing to me. And not that Jeffree has to like Morgan just because Morgan's Ryland's sister. Okay, but that's interesting. I've never heard anything about this before. I've never heard that there's been any, like, so is it that Morgan doesn't approve or doesn't like Jeffree Star? What's that about, okay? It's very interesting to me, so I'm confused. So was she shading Jeffree Star in this by saying that? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what comes out. I'm sure more people will be talking about it. Anyway, stay tuned to Shane Dawson's next thumbnail and title because I have a feeling it's coming to a theater near you not very soon. But it will probably come to YouTube and it will probably change 15 more times until he hits 1 million views. But anyway, let me know what you think about all that in the comment section below. I love you guys so much and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.